All right, what is up, everyone? It is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. I am here with Nolan Kelly to talk four-game slate, injuries, lineup construction, all the good stuff. Nolan, how are you doing
Nolan
this
Kelly.
afternoon?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I got a big final exam tonight, so I'm like prepping for that. But other than that, I'm getting ready for Christmas. I'm in Christmas mode.
Christmas mode, nice.
Yeah,
What
I'm
does
ready.
that entail?
Just doing a little shopping, drinking hot chocolate, just the usual,
All the good stuff. All the good stuff.
right?
Yeah, for sure. So this slate is we've got a lot of injuries to talk about. I
hmm
mean, there's some stuff going on in Minnesota. There's some stuff going on in Carolina. So I don't know. Do you want to talk about any injuries or anything as far as DFS, like ownership wise, that we should be aware of?
Sure. Yeah. So, I guess the big news, well, today, it looks like Jordan Stahl's out with a concussion. So Martinuk's going to move up to the top line with Aho and Teravainen. Teravainen's really cheap on DK. I don't know why his price has dropped so much. I guess it's just not performing. So that kind of changes all their lines up again. Bufflin returns for the Jets tonight. Looks like Morrissey's going to be out for another game. So Bufflin kind of just steps into that role as his on the top power play unit. What else we got? Oh yeah, Mikko Koivu was injured last night. He didn't finish the game, so I don't think they had a morning skate. I couldn't find any information on it, so I'm thinking that he's going to be out. You're a Minnesota guy. Did you hear anything on Koivu yet?
I did not, and so it's tough because they did skate last night, or they did play last night, and
Yeah,
then all the stuff happened at the end of the game. Koivu was hurt. I don't think he finished the last 2 minutes or whatever, but I don't like. We just don't know. And Boudreaux, who knows if he's going to give away anything? He's supposed to talk at 7 o'clock, 7 Eastern.
yeah,
So that would actually give us an hour to adjust if he does say, "Here's what the lineup's going to be." Koivu's in, Koivu's out. But yeah, I have no clue what to expect there. So can't really make lineups
yeah.
until 7 Eastern, in my opinion. Like if you are multi-entering.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense. Steen as well looks like he'll draw back in. He's on the line rushes anyways this morning. Furland isn't on this road trip, so he won't be playing. I just missed this Raquel news, but I don't
He's not playing
know.
either.
He's not playing?
He's out.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
So
missed
that's
that.
fun. You can update that after the show. We do have an hour later lock, so if anybody's
Nice.
scrambling, or if you come home from work or whatever, and you scramble to try to get your lineups in, you've got a little bit of extra time on this Friday night. So yeah,
Okay. So
should be a wild one here.
Daniel Sprong up on the top line, eh? Oof.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting, that whole game. Like, we'll get into that a little bit later, but how do you approach that? Because Gibson's obviously in a great spot, but you can't really like Anaheim's chances with that lineup either, so it's kind of tough. He might be a little bit more harder pressed to get a win.
Yeah, Anaheim just can't catch a break seemingly the whole season. Someone's always out for them, just at an inopportune time. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We'll try to get through this, and maybe we can do some weird stuff with the lineup builder or whatever. I
Yeah.
really don't know what I'm gonna like exposure wise. What I'm gonna do on this slate. I'm probably just gonna spread it around for the most part, outside of a couple spots that are probably gonna be pretty chalky, like Dallas and Winnipeg. And I'm gonna be there on both of those top lines. So I don't think I'm gonna have any super crazy takes
Yeah.
or like crazy avoids. I'm just gonna try to play the best plays once again on these shorter slates. Um,
Sorry, I got one more for you. Martin Hansel returns for the Stars. I think he's centering the second line. He's still listed as on the DL. I don't think it's a great player or anything, but he's had some decent offensive years in the past. He's been a 40-point guy, so you'll get him at less than 1% ownership if that's a route you want to take.
yeah, for sure. I don't know how much offensive talent he has. I'm trying to remember what kind of player Hansel was. I haven't had to say that name for a while, it seems like.
Yeah, I know, right? Is he
Um,
married? He's Marian Hansel's brother, I think, right?
I have no idea. There is. So Corsi asks, beats confirmed or daily guess off? That would be. I did see a beat tweet that Sprong was centered by Getzlaff at
Yeah.
morning skate today. They didn't really tweet much, but he didn't tweet out the actual lines, but he just said that Sprong is expected to be on the top line. So I'm going to try to find that tweet, actually. Sprung will slide in. Yeah. Here we go. Is this guy the beat? Yeah. All right. Elliot Tiefert. I'll just post it in the chat.
Sweet. Yeah, let me get onto this chat now here.
Yeah, the YouTube chat.
Oh, YouTube chat. Okay, sweet.
All right. You want to talk over these 4 games?
Let's do it.
Fun.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, should be a fun one.
Interesting slate tonight. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I like these shorter slates, like 4 to 6, 4 to 7.
I noticed you were saying with Homercles yesterday about how Testosterone Town. How do you say his name? It's testosterone. Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
He double stacked San Jose on one of these short slates. Was it San Jose 1-2 or 1-3?
It was. Well, I think it was listed as 1-2. It was the Thornton line though.
And took down the $8.
Yeah. Yep. So
interesting.
Maybe
that's. I guess you can't really do that with Winnipeg tonight. It's probably too expensive.
You can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can. It can be done. I've tried it. And you can do it. It's not pretty.
Nice.
Like your goalie and your double punt defenseman aren't pretty, but it's definitely doable. So most teams, I think you can do it with tonight.
Or just even a Winnipeg power play 1.
Yeah, that is also doable.
Full 5. Yeah.
All right, let's do it. San Jose and Dallas. We have Martin Jones going up against Ben Bishop. The Sharks again, not playing their better goalie. They're going with Jones here. Not sure what the Sharks lines are going to look like, but would have to assume they stick with Couture, Pavelski, and Hurdle at the top line, just loaded up there. I don't know. Is there anything we should mention in this game from news?
We already mentioned the Hansel news. I think there's no changes other than that on either side. Well, Dallas, anytime you're like Dallas bottom 9 is just a nightmare to stack. They just basically seem to never get more than like 10% ice time share together. Defense stacking, Bayreuther is kind of probably the best bet, but like Lindell and Heiskanen are both getting some kind of equal ice time with him, so it's not really a huge drop off. Just that he's on the power play 1 there. And from San Jose's side, not much in the way of injuries, but it does look that San Jose 3 is a little bit intriguing to me. I'm sure we'll get into that, but that's very cheap combination with Evander Kane on there as well.
Yep. Kane, Sumela, and Donskoy. That's the one that I like, at least the second San Jose line that I like if you can't get up to the first one. So those are going to be the top 2 for me, San Jose 1 and 3. But with Timo, like any line that Timo's on, I'm willing to stack, especially when his line mates are so cheap. Thornton, I don't know, maybe that's okay at 3,500. He was fine the other night. It's just assist equity is the issue with him. Like he's just not going to chip in like with shots on goal or blocks or anything like that.
Maybe you take advantage of that recency bias that you have that with 3 assists tonight the other night, 2 assists.
I think he had 3, and then Sorensen had a couple, or maybe a goal and an assist. I don't know. That line was the nuts though.
Yeah. And then in terms of pairing, I don't know. It looks like Carlson gets a little bit more ice time with this top line. Burns is a little bit more with 2 and 3 lately, but not a huge difference again. And the power plays are kind of interchangeable as well.
Yeah. So on the Shark side, it's always Burns number 1, Carlson number 2, and then everyone else way, way below. I think this guy's Simek for 2,600 is also fine as a punt. I didn't see how many minutes he played the other night, but he did play alongside Burns, and he's there again tonight.
And Vlasic's always good as a punt if you're in that need for that $3,500 defenseman who's not going to be owned, and like he's had his moments in the past, and he seems to he obviously gets a ton of ice time, so
sure
he always rates out well for Osmo.
Yep, always. Just I think it's because of the ice time thing.
Yeah,
he's 20+. On the Dallas side, you alluded to it. It's really tough to not stack Dallas 1 here. Like if you're going to a Dallas line, so Sagan, Bed, Radulov, they're my highest projected line. They're super expensive, more expensive than Winnipeg 1, but they're probably going to be my highest exposed stack on the night. If I had to make lineups right now and submit them, they would easily be the top stack on the night for me, but they're going to be either 1 or 2. And with the expected ownership on Winnipeg, which I think is where everyone is going to want to be, which is understandable, I'm probably going to lean more towards Dallas 1 here.
Yeah. It seems like a pivot off that for sure. Like I think that's probably a wise move. Anaheim though, like Dallas is still going to be owned, obviously, especially with
sure.
Anaheim news.
Yep, and there are a bunch of cheap lines too with all these line changes. So
Yeah,
it's not going to be like I don't think you're going to get Dallas at 10% and Winnipeg 1 at 30. I think it's going to be more like you might get Dallas at 22 and Winnipeg at 30 or 32, but still a difference nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And then the rest of the lines on Dallas's side, do you have any interest in the?
Gross.
Yeah,
I haven't used them all year, and I'm not going to start now.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So I don't even know like where I would lean to after Dallas won.
Probably Dallas too. You get Hansel for 33, Spets at 36, both on the power play too, I think. Or
yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, it's real rough after Dallas won. So.
Shore's on the power play 1 too.
Yeah, he is.
That's actually not the worst. I take that back. 10,000 for that line.
They're going to come up as good values. I'm sure they come up as a decent value on my projections, but I don't really spend a lot of time looking at them this morning.
But yeah, give me San Jose 3 over that for sure.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Bayrether, you mentioned on the top power play. He would be the first guy I would want to go to, but no issue with Lindell or Heiskanen. Do you know if Lindell and Heiskanen are skating a bunch with the Sagan-Ben combo?
Yeah, so they're basically all kind of the same. They're a little bit more. I think they're about 10 minutes last game. Let me just click on that right now to make sure I'm right. But it's not like Bayrether's about the same. Bayrether's a little bit less than them, but nothing like...
Yeah, he's Bayrether 4K, Heiskanen 41, Lindell 42.
Yeah. So, I mean, Bayrether would probably be the most owned of those, obviously, just because of the power play. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so Lindell, 8 minutes. Heiskanen, 7 minutes. Bayrether, 8-9 minutes.
Was that a home game?
That was a home game.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think you can play any of those three with Dallas 1. I don't think like you've got Bayrether on the top power play, and then the other two are going to see some decent time at even strength. So not taking a crazy stand just because Bayrether is on that top power play. We've seen the revolving door with that power play quarterback on Dallas 1's power play. And the power play is brutal so far this season for Dallas. So you're not really stacking them anyways for the power play.
Even just not even taking a Dallas defenseman, I think, is viable with that stack.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because it's just so easy to plug in one of those guys for 4K.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a fine strategy. And then the goalies here. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say there's some nice other defensemen in the 4K range tonight as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Elsewhere, for sure.
Yeah, goalies, meh. I don't know. You in?
I mean, I'm playing, I think, 100 lineups tonight. So I'm probably going to have exposure to all 8 goalies.
Yeah.
Bishop's going to be one of my higher exposed. I think he's can see decent volume, and he's at home, and he's 7K or 7,700. Sorry. And I think it's just a fair
point
price
as well. He's not going to be owned, I'm guessing, too highly, and he probably obviously correlates well with Ben's again line.
Yeah. And then I don't really like Martin Jones all that much. So
yeah.
Probably going to be lower on the field than him.
Yeah, fair.
St. Louis and Winnipeg, we have a 2.6 implied total for the Blues, 3.4 for the Jets. Jake Allen going up against Connor Hellebuck. And talk about the St. Louis line changes here.
Yeah, so it looks like, I think, I'm just checking to see if Daily Faceoff is finally reporting them, because I think they were, I saw them off a Blues beat writer, but it's looking like... yeah, is that Sanford, O'Reilly, Perron, and then Steen, Shen, Tarasenko?
Yep.
I'm guessing then that Steen's going to play. So it's interesting. I think Tarasenko and O'Reilly are both rating out very highly for Osmo, which is interesting. I was just taking a look at his player ranks, and they got a lot of ice time together last game, even though they weren't on the same line together, which was interesting. They had like a 20% or 15% share or something. So even though Tarasenko was on the third line or started with Bozak and Maroon. So I'm kind of intrigued by these because I think they're not going to be owned. But and just like Tarasenko's down to 6,200 on DK, which is nuts. I think he's still like extremely expensive on St. Louis or on FanDuel. Yeah, he's 8,300 on FanDuel, which is crazy. Yeah. So I mean, he's going to garner no ownership on FanDuel and probably like a little bit less or a little bit more on DraftKings. But Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I had some note about Winnipeg. Oh yeah, they're pretty stingy at home, right? In terms of chances and high danger chances allowed. So, I mean, the Blues are terrible. The Jets are good. The Jets have the highest implied total by a huge margin tonight. I mean, any Blues here are just going to be contrarian plays for the most part.
I actually like that Blues second line, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's very clearly that second line, the Schenn, Steen, Tarasenko line. If Steen
Yeah,
plays,
that's a good line.
yeah, I mean, it's just too cheap. I think
Yeah.
DK wasn't expecting them to be together. There is some data on them, I think, from
Wow.
last year, but
Yeah.
they're 15-5. Like, it's just too cheap for a line you can get Schenn, Tarasenko, and Steen together, even though
Yeah,
it's not
you're
a
right.
great matchup.
Yeah.
And I don't actually know how Winnipeg wants to match this, if they're going to go Scheifele, Wheeler, Ehlers on O'Reilly, or if they're just going to go against Schenn, Tarasenko, Steen. But I think either way, St. Louis 2 is playable. And then you've got a couple lines on Winnipeg that are going to be popular here, with Scheifele, Wheeler, Ehlers likely being the most popular line of the night. I don't know if chat has a better read on that than I do, but that's pretty much what I've been expecting since this morning. And then Little, Connor, and Line, their prices have dropped a little bit. Little under 4K is going to help, and Connor under 6K is also going to help. So they're going to be a popular filler stack with other top lines, or even like in a game stack here.
Yeah. You mean St. Louis too?
I mean, yeah, Winnipeg 2 and St.
Winnipeg
Louis 2
2,
is super easy to get to.
Yeah, I take that back. Winnipeg or St. Louis 2 is an awesome value tonight. That's really good for like what, under 15K. Wow.
Let's see.
And they fit in pretty nicely with Dallas. I don't know. What do you think their ownership's going to be? I would guess like Tarasenko always garners some ownership, right? But
I mean,
Steen with the day-to-day tag still.
Right. I think Tarasenko is going to pop for a lot of people anytime he's 6,200. Winnipeg hasn't been that stout defensively, like they were last year. Like last year, I would never target them at home. This year, I'm more okay doing that, especially with a decent line that's cheap for St. Louis. So I don't know. I mean, 15, 20, somewhere in there, I think, for this blue second line, just because they're so cheap. They pretty much fit with every other top line.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And if you want to go get contrarian here, well, I guess we'll get to goaltenders lately, but Jake Allen might be starting up a little patented Jake Allen hot streak. So
is he on a heater?
He's on a 2-game heater.
Okay. Got to start somewhere, I guess.
Right? 944, 931 save percentage, 2 goals allowed each of his last 2 games. So maybe a mini heater.
Yeah, for sure.
For St. Louis, anyways, this year. I actually are St. Louis's underlying numbers terrible? Or are they like what's your take on them as a team? Because like they seem to like have more talent than they should.
They're just they're just kind of annoying to me, like for DFS. So like their lines have been switched up. They haven't really gotten a ton of continuity with any of these lines.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just go the Dallas route and just stack up their top line, or what they should do here, but they haven't been huge targets for me for DFS.
Schwartz gets back and it's kind of solidifies things again. But like those, like a Schenn, Schwartz, Steen, Tarasenko, O'Reilly top 2 lines, you should not be one of the worst teams in the league, especially with Peter Angelo in your back end. But,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, so Schwartz and now Pietrangelo out is real tough. Schwartz is a very good possession player too, so him alongside Tarasenko, whoever's centering them, whether it's Schenn or O'Reilly, if they decide to do that, I think should be a top line in the NHL.
Yeah.
So definitely hurts there. Oh yeah, St. Louis sucks.
How did that happen? That happened so quickly.
I don't know. They didn't make the playoffs last year, did they? I think they missed them. They kind of had a meltdown. Or no, was that Dallas who had a meltdown last year?
I thought they were really good, and then no, I think you're right. I think they were really good for most of the year, and then they melted down at the end.
I have no idea why anyone would even talk about
44-32. They missed the playoffs by a point last year.
Yeah. So they had the late season meltdown.
Yeah.
Is how I remember it.
Apparently they have the number 1 prospect pool in the entire NHL though, so all is not lost for them right now.
No, maybe they can turn things around here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
D-stacking, I don't know. Vince Dunn, price seems to go down. He doesn't get a lot of ice time, though. He only gets like 15 minutes a game. He's on the power play 1. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm not super sold on much else for St. Louis. I'm not really sold on Dunn either. And then, like, obviously, Bufflin on Winnipeg. He goes right back into his role in the power play 1. But you could also go with, I think Morrissey's out again, and Trouba is who I mix up constantly. Trouba is also not a bad option. I think he's in the 4,000s, 5,000s.
Yeah, I love Trouba when he's priced up. Plays a ton of minutes and gets power play time usually. Usually not on the top unit, but that gets the ownership way off of him. So Bufflin, Trouba, those guys are going to be heavy targets. When I'm going to Winnipeg 1, I think you can play either of those two. And then if you really need to get punty, I think Sami Niku for 2,900 skating with Trouba, probably going to see 20-plus minutes. So
yeah. Decent numbers in the AHL, nothing to get excited about, but 10 minutes last game with Scheifele, Wheeler, Ehlers, although obviously that was with Bufflin out, so on the road. So.
For sure, and short slate, he's going to be low owned. Nothing wrong with it there.
No, that's great.
On the St. Louis side, Parayko's still my favorite guy. He's the most expensive, and then you've got a bunch of punt-looking guys. Dunn still on the top power play for 3,600. I guess I have less of an issue with that than I usually do with Vince Dunn. And then Edmondson is the other guy I wanted to mention as a decent value. Osmo has him as an A value right now.
Who is that?
Edmondson.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. He gets a ton of... He's paired with Parayko, right?
Yes, he is.
So he gets a ton... They get a ton of ice time with St. Louis 1. They did last time anyways, but that was the O'Reilly when O'Reilly was paired with Tarasenko. So I don't know if that will continue, and that was also at home. So
Corsi in chat says that Parayko got a shot on power play 1 last game. Was that at the end of the game, Corsi? And did they score on the power play? Because if so, maybe they keep that together. But just wanted to note that I hadn't heard that until just now.
Skaters, line combo. I don't think I saw.
Parayko scored the game winner in OT 2 games ago.
Was that an even strength though? Did they get a power play in overtime in that game, or was that Edmonton? Parayko.
I don't know. All the days run together for me.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah.
Parayko got 14 minutes with Tarasenko, or 14% of the ice time with the top unit last game.
Okay, so he did get a shot there.
Yeah.
Left wing lock is done getting 80% of the power play time with the first unit last game. Yeah, so it wasn't done the whole time, I guess is the point. So maybe we do see Parayko there, and I think Parayko is probably, like, as a standalone, he's probably the higher upside guy, and that's a way to differentiate, paying the extra $900. And
better offensive player too, right?
Yeah, better all-around player. And then we've got Allen and Hellebuck for 6,800 and 8,400. Either of those two guys crazy about for tournaments?
I mean, yeah, I think like just with the for tournaments, I think Allen's probably not a bad play if you're gonna fade Winnipeg. You can. It's the old GPP lowest owned goalie on the slate. Gonna see a bunch of shots. Maybe you can eliminate competition if Winnipeg's going to be 25 to 35% owned. So don't hate it as put him in a couple for sure. And then who's going for Winnipeg? Hellebuck? Yeah, he's probably the safest bet on the board, just given the win equity. I think Winnipeg's minus 210 favorites or something. So also the highest on the slate.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have limited exposure to each of these goalies just because Winnipeg has a really tough power play. Second best in the NHL, 29%. And then, I don't know. Like, Hellebuck's been a little bit shaky. They should win this game, I agree. But 8,400, like, the odds that he's the nut goalie that you need tonight are pretty low. So
especially with Gibson coming up here in the next game.
Yeah, you've got a better goalie for less in pretty much the same matchup. Not as big of a favorite, but could see this being a higher scoring game than what Vegas suggests here. Got anything else here?
I think that's it.
All right, let's go to some more uncertainty here. We've got the Minnesota Wild and the Edmonton Oilers. Could be Devin Dubnyk. I think it should be Devin Dubnyk. Actually, now that I think of it, Stalock started last night going up against Cam Talbot. 2.7 implied total for the Wild, 2.8 for the Oilers. Any notes outside of Koivu to talk about here?
Zykov is starting for the Oilers on the third line. They just picked him up off waivers. I have heard like his name talked about in analytics circles as like a pretty solid player, and people were shocked that he got punted from Carolina. So he was on their power play one for most of the year as well. So he's the bare min, I'm guessing, or pretty close to it.
2,500. Yep.
2,500 even. Yeah. So there you go. That's Edmonton and Edmonton 3. I'm not used to looking at the screen here. I got to pull it up. There we go. Yeah, he's on Edmonton 3 with Spooner and Ratty. So, man, that's a cheap line. Like, I don't think there's much reason to go that low. I don't know what you think, but yeah, 70. What is it? $8,000 total.
Yeah. Let's see. 8. It's not even 8. That's crazy. You never see it. I mean, yeah, it's Edmonton. I think they have two lines actually that are under 8,000. Now that I look at it.
That's not the worst like under 8,000 line ever though.
Right, but the only issue I have with that is like, where are you going to spend the extra salary? You're going to be
problem,
leaving
right?
$4K on the table.
Yeah, you legit could probably take the other 4 highest priced players and still not reach your forwards and not reach your cap. So
I'm pretty sure you could go Burns, Carlson, and Dallas 1 here. Let me try that.
Oh, 100% you can. Yeah.
Oh wait, these guys are okay. So it's a little bit different, right? Oh no, not Puljujarvi.
Oh.
Who's the center there? Oh, Ratty. Yeah, there are 3 wingers on DK.
Oh.
So I guess you can't just lock in everyone. You could probably go Scheifele, and then you could still go with Burns and Carlson.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easily. Yeah, 9,200 left for goalie. You put in Sagan, Ben, Scheifele, Carlson, Burns.
You have to go up to Radulov too.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. So just.
But yeah, you're probably better off just taking 2 of those guys.
Yeah, I'd probably take a shot on Zykov and Spooner if I had to.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
This one is tough because I want to like Minnesota here. They Dubnyk's struggling. Their offense looked uneven last night when I was watching the first couple periods. Koivu injury just mucks things up even more. No clue what the lines are going to look like. I'm assuming they keep Stalzucker, Granlund together. That was their best line from what I saw. They were pretty bad defensively, but they were creating quite a bit last night. And I think Boudreau has stuck with them more often than not. And it is a back-to-back, so I doubt he wants to make a ton of changes anyways. So I really, really do like Stalzucker, Granlund. The issue is not 100% sure that they're going to be together. And then they're like the problem with the Wild too is they have a lot of options. They could go Coyle back to center if Koivu's forced to miss, and then that probably bumps up either Greenway or Foligno or Niederreiter, or they could put Joel Eriksson Ek in Koivu's spot and just keep everything basically the same. I don't know what to do here. So you got any advice for me?
I mean, it's not going to be owned, so you're probably going to... Yeah, I'm expecting this to be a pretty tight defensive game. I don't know. Edmonton 1's intriguing because of the 4 like big lines tonight. They're definitely going to be the lowest owned, and they're probably the worst value, though. So I did like nothing about this game really pops out to me, but I think that's pretty low implied total. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not super excited about it.
So, yeah, that's what I thought right away.
Yeah.
But you look at these Edmonton lines, so the top 2 lines. So Edmonton 1, the McDavid line, and the Nugent-Hopkins Puljujarvi combo are they lead the slate in high danger chances against per 60. Those 2 lines. McDavid line at about 19.7 high danger chances against per 60. The Nugent-Hopkins Puljujarvi combo is at 17.1. So I mean, just really, really bad. Despite Edmonton trying to slow it down with Hitchcock as their coach.
Has that changed at all, or is it still?
So the Chason experiment didn't start until Hitchcock started, and then Nugent Hopkins with Puljujarvi hasn't started. I don't think they had any time before their old coach was fired. So this has been a pretty new thing, and there's 50 plus minutes on each of those 2. I don't think Juhar Kara is gonna help. I don't know. It just seems
so you're kind of digging Minnesota.
Yeah, I really like
you're digging the Stalzucker Granlund line.
Yeah, that's the one I want. I mean, if Koivu plays, who knows how healthy he's going to be, but I still would have interest in, especially
Yeah.
Parisi, and then Coyle as well is super cheap. So I just think there's a lot of value on Minnesota for going up against the top six that's been really, really bad defensively.
That's intriguing. Yeah.
And then on the Edmonton side, I just have a hard time stacking anyone outside of McDavid if you're going to Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Nugent Hopkins and Puyarvi and Kara I actually don't hate. They're incredibly cheap. It's just value all over the place. Brent Burns is going to be like 100% owned tonight because of all this value.
Yeah.
But yeah, the top six is fine for Edmonton, but really want to get to McDavid if I do go to the Oilers.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Oh, it looks like has Minnesota? No, they're still using their same power plays here. Yeah, Minnesota power plays are a little bit kind of same old, just sort of split down the middle. So, but maybe Minnesota 1 gets a little bit of an uptick on that power play with Koivu out in their power play time. Yeah, I don't hate that as well. I don't hate that because I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be like that Minnesota line's like 5% owned tonight, 5 to 7.
I think they're going to be pretty low owned, especially.
Yeah.
So they already have two lines, right? You know, they've got two viable lines that people like to use.
And they're not cheap enough that you can fit in one of the big lines with them.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So, yeah, reasonable price against the only back-to-back team. I think Corsi's right. Edmonton 1 should carry a decent amount of ownership because we've got all this value opening up. Like in Carolina, San Jose's got 2 really cheap lines, and Anaheim's got a really cheap top line too. So it's not going to be tough to fit in McDavid. People already want to jam him in no matter what, which is understandable. But I think Edmonton 1 is going to maybe sneak up there as a top 2 own line. I don't know if they get above Dallas. I don't think they get above Winnipeg, but I think they might compete with Dallas for that second spot.
I don't think so. But here's why. We were actually just talking about this as well. Like the little red spot on Edmonton. Right. Minnesota 1st against left wingers, 9th against right wingers, 3rd in fantasy points allowed against centers. So I would bet Winnipeg 1, 2, Dallas 3 are fairly close, and then Edmonton's a drop off. That's just my guess.
Sure, that could definitely be the case.
Or like McDavid will be owned, but they won't be stacked as much. Sure. Also, they're kind of pricey too. Like they're not like McDavid's 81. I guess they're not that bad. I shouldn't say that, but they're a little bit worse value than these other lines for sure.
I agree. Yeah. So for me, like I'm probably coming in under the field on Edmonton 1, but
yeah,
I'll probably be in that like 15% range, which I'm comfortable with going underweight on them. You got to be underweight somewhere. And I'm going to be way overweight on Minnesota 1, assuming Boudreau doesn't blow up everything, which could happen. And then for defense,
that's also like you could use that to your advantage too, right? If that's like right before game time and he's switching up all those lines, so many people will miss that.
Especially Friday
those
night.
Late changes. Yeah,
a lot of the pros, they don't even like make swaps because
they don't check.
They're worried about NBA or other stuff. They got families. So yeah, maybe you do want some late changes tonight if you're going to be around. I mean, you have no life like me. Someone needs to do a study on how those red-green numbers really affect ownership. Nolan, you want to talk about that?
Oh, actually, yeah. I was just saying, like, I know that Rick Run Good, DK DFS on Demand, he has a YouTube channel. He's on Pat Mayo's show quite often, and he seems like a really good guy. He's studied it. I don't know if he has a YouTube video up talking about it, but he found a correlation between, like, especially in lower stakes tournaments, between those numbers and where people click. I think it's pretty obvious too, right? It's not like we've all been there where I think it even like subliminally affects us sometimes, or at least I see that red and I'm like, like maybe have to think twice about it or think more about it. So I definitely think it affects people, but yeah, you're right. Like a concrete study would be awesome. And then like you can also use that to your advantage on FanDuel as well, like kind of go over there because they don't have those numbers.
Yeah. No one late swaps in the $8 anyways. Yeah, Matt says when LeBanc got announced back with Couture a couple games ago, he was under 1%. I think that was that maybe last Friday or last Thursday.
I missed that.
Or maybe it was Wednesday. I don't know. It was last week sometime. I do remember that because I just global swapped. I didn't have the time. I was on my phone, and I just global swapped all my Timo Meyer to LeBanc. So Was it, yeah, against Toronto? Maybe I'm thinking of a different time, but yeah, it was ridiculous, and he got there right away when I did it. I don't know if me and Matt are talking about the same time, but yeah, just pay attention. Like, follow beat writers or have people tag you if you're in the premium chat, like at the channel if there's a big scratch or something.
Generally, if I'm around at 3:30, I'll try and tweet out everything that I see as well. So,
Yeah.
and you can follow me, Nolan _Kelly.
Yeah, double underscore. Don't forget about that, guys.
That was last in line when they were handing out usernames.
We got some very viable defensemen here. On the wild side, you've got Dumba, Spurgeon, Suter. Could even maybe punt with Brodin, and then Clefbaum, the clear #1 for Edmonton. I think has a case as a top 2 or 3 defenseman on this slate for 5,900 on DK. He's going to be up there because you can fit him in with Edmonton 1, but I do like that quite a bit. Any of these guys sticking out to you, Nolan?
Yeah, no, I think they're all great plays. I mean, like, it's going to be so hard. Defense is really interesting tonight because there's so many good, valuable plays, especially in the 4K range. I think people will probably tend to pay down a little bit just because I think they're going to try and stuff a lot of these top lines in. But I think there's just going to be kind of pretty spread out ownership on a lot of these guys, though these Minnesota guys might go totally under-owned.
For sure. Goalies, we've got Dubnyk, Talbot. I really like Dubnyk's price for 7,300. He's a more talented goalie than 7,300, and this is a winnable game for the Wild. That being said, I'm for sure going to have some Talbot exposure. He's not going to be one of my highest owned guys, though.
Yeah, I love that. I love that call, especially with Minnesota stacks. It's going to be a very low-owned goalie tonight, I'm guessing.
Yeah, people don't like playing goalies against McDavid that much either. Just like for whatever reason, I don't know. Even if he scores, it doesn't mean your goalie's dead.
And Talbot's hasn't been great this year. That's a pretty high price point for him, though. Yeah.
Dubnyk has been he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been great though. So I don't know. Maybe he turns it around. Maybe he just needed a night off. Carolina and Anaheim. We have Peter Mrazek going up against likely John Gibson. 2.8 implied total for the Hurricanes. 2.6 for the Ducks. What do we got here for news, Nolan?
So, yeah, Jordan Staal is out with a concussion. The Carolina lines are all changed. Williams is up on the second line along with... I'm totally spacing out here. Let me just pull up my article. Walmart against Svechnikov. Martinuk is on the first line. Teravainen's price is super low. Rask is back down to the third line. So... I don't know. Like, this is interesting because both these sides are a lot weaker than they should be tonight, with so many injuries on either side. So, I don't know. I generally was looking pretty hard at Gibson, and then but then I saw Osmos grades come in, and Carolina's actually ranked really highly tonight. So. It's interesting. How are they right now for you?
He's got Gibson also as an A points grade A value, and then just a boatload of skaters on Carolina's side as A values, just because they're so cheap and like someone has to play these minutes.
And they generate shots, right?
Oh yeah, tons of them.
So Carolina most shots in the NHL, and Anaheim giving up the second most shots in the NHL. Like Gibson will see a lot of rubber. I think I've kind of talked a little bit about this. This is the second year in a row, I think, where Carolina is a bit of an outlier in terms of creating chances and high danger chances and not converting on them. I don't know if that sample size is enough, but it's just very strange that for the second year in a row, they've been really good at creating chances and really bad at finishing chances.
They're an anomaly, right? I mean, they just like that Staal line. It was like Staal, Fogel, and Williams.
Oh, they were unbelievable. I lost so much money on that line this year.
Unbelievable. Like just ridiculous numbers the first 15 games of the season, and just never got there. They never broke out. So
could just be the type of players, like some guys have finished, some guys don't, right? Like not everyone's Patrick Laine, not everyone's Evander Kane or whoever, these high shooting percentage guys who just put the puck in the net, right? Brock Besser's, I don't know.
Carolina is an anomaly. They're just not good players. I mean, they have a good amount of good players, and they have guys that should be able to score.
Underlying stats say they should be one of the best teams in the league, like Orsi, but it's just finish, I think. I don't know.
They just can't,
That's the only explanation I have for it.
Yeah, and they're the only team like this that doesn't regress. They just continue to put up 40 shots and score 2 goals or 1 goal.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know.
Justin Falk is intriguing to me on the Carolina side. His price is dipped to 44. We'll get into D, I guess. I just saw this regression that I had. He's got 83 shots this year. He's only shooting at a 1.2% clip, and his career average is 6. So there's someone that's primed for a little positive regression tonight or sometime in the near future. Still in the power play 1. Like that price point.
Yep. For sure.
Jumped ahead there. Sorry, I'm sure you want to talk about forwards first.
No, this is a free-flowing show. You just go wherever you want to take it.
Nice. Obviously, Hamilton's got the better underlying stats, but I do like going to Falk because the guy can score goals.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, either of those two I think are fine options. Again, just so much value. Like even the defenders. Yeah. You got 4 guys with A value according to Osmo's rankings, and I would expect him to put up a decent amount of shots, have a decent amount of scoring chances. I don't like the Raquel injury hurts for the Ducks. They've got some healthier defensemen now with Lindholm back, and Manson as well. But you know, it's still and a great goalie. But if Gibson's off at all, you could certainly see a couple shots sneak through here. I mean, for me, for Carolina, it's just Aho, Teravainen. Like those guys are awesome. The problem is their other winger is Martinook, who's also a winger. So on DK, it makes it really tough.
On FanDuel, Aho is still in as a center, so you can get all 3 of them in.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, they still hadn't switched him over. He'd played like 4 games.
I know. I thought about FanDuel was so bad at that. I actually went over to FanDuel because I was going to stack San Jose 1 with their double centers, which they hadn't switched, and then get the Carolina 3 wingers in, thinking I was going to be sneaky, and they haven't updated yet. So.
Yeah, so I actually just noticed that. I hadn't run a crunch since I got back early this afternoon, but
that doesn't on DraftKings with a flex bot though. You should still be able to fit in stacks with that, right?
No, because you can only play up to 4 wingers.
Oh,
so
right. It's double centers that you can do it with.
Double center's fine. Like a double center.
That's good though. Like I feel like you can use that to your advantage because you can. Because no one's going to do it, right? Like, just in a couple of them, if you throw all 3 of them in, I doubt very many people are going to use all 3 of their winger spots for Carolina 1.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get exposure to them, because I was just going to run 3 threes, but now I'm going to have to force in a few at least.
And then you could pop in, you could do like a 3-2-1 or something. I know you usually just double stack, but there's some nice 3-2-1 options for sure. Pop in. There's some like solo goal scorers like Kane or Casse on Anaheim or on St. Louis. You can just kind of pop in there and hope they get 1 or 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I want to get in Aho, Teravainen. Maybe I'll just run those 2, lock those 2, and run like 10 or 15 lineups and see what happens after that. But yeah, they broke up this Walmart, Svechnikov, and Martinook line too, which I'm not happy about. Because that line had incredible numbers.
Yeah.
And they actually had a game where they went nuts. So, like, they can do it, they showed. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, oh, man, I'm just looking at Andre Cache's grade here, CE. He's on the 4th line. He's 5K. It's probably the worst play of the night. But
you think?
I don't know. I guess he's on what is he on the power play too? He's just overpriced. Like on FanDuel, he's like 4,000 or 3,500 or something like that. So
are we sure he's on the 4th line with Raquel?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think he moved up. Yeah, I think he's on the 2nd.
Never mind.
So
okay, never mind. Yeah, because I was kind of thinking of he'd be a great. Yeah, he's on the 2nd line now. He'd be a great kind of one-off that no one's going to own, but that's even better position for him too, right?
Yeah. So Kasha on L2 here with Henrique and Richie. I like that line a lot, especially now that Richie gets power play 2 exposure and Kasha is going to play some real minutes with some real line mates. So, yeah, I really, really like that Edmonton 2nd line. I think Kasha is going to come up for a bunch of people, especially if you're using mostly this year's stats. His like per 60 numbers are really, really solid. Right? Yeah. And
8 points in 12 games. Henrique's really cheap. Like, yeah, that's a good option.
Yeah. So I would rank the lines. I think as far as exposure goes, I'm probably gonna have the most to Henrique, Kasha, and Richie, and then Getzlaf after that, and then Kessler way after that. What about defensemen on the Anaheim side here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the two most viable are obviously Lindholm and Montour. Montour still gets power play one time. Lindholm, I think, is better just generally. They're both. I don't know. I like both of them. I think Lindholm's getting a little bit priced up, so I think his value is just not there for me tonight. But just with so many other options on the board, but he's definitely not going to be owned.
Did I say I like the Edmonton second line? Yeah, I meant the Ducks. Ducks. I meant to say Anaheim, I guess.
No one likes Edmonton's second line. That should be a dead giveaway.
They're fine. Yeah, they're fine, but whatever. Anaheim second line is what I meant. So
yeah.
Montour, Lindholm, those are the two main targets. I think Lindholm's going to be.
You can get Bufflin for 5,700. I don't know. Are you going to take any Lindholm?
Right.
Carlson for 56. Dumba for 54. Like.
It is a really good block shot spot for Lindholm, and if he can chip in, like all of a sudden he could creep up there and get 6 or 7 DK points.
It's a great point, and like, look, the guy's killing it lately. He hasn't had less than 4 DK points since he's been back. So
and he's been. How many minutes is he playing? Do you have it in front of you? Like 25, 30?
25 to 28.
Yeah.
So maybe like that to me feels like a really sharp play because I don't think he's going to be owned, and he definitely, like, Carolina just shoots. So.
Yep.
Great cash gameplay too.
Yeah. All right. What else here? Oh yeah, that Kasha grade was assuming. I'm sure that Alex was assuming that Kasha was on the fourth line. So
yeah.
I would think he'd be like probably a B value or a B points grade A value, or maybe vice versa, something like that. So I would ignore that grade for Kasha.
Yeah, you still get nice to him too. So
are you gonna hammer Gibson here?
I was going to. I don't know what. Can you talk me off him?
No, I don't think you should. I think he's gonna see decent volume. Anaheim allows decent volume. And the quality of player for Carolina has just gone down with no stall. So it's weird to see an A value at 8,200, but it kind of makes sense against this team who just gives up a ton of very good goalie performances to the opposition. Yeah. So
he's going to be my number 1 owned goalie tonight, I think, for sure. Ducks have won 5 in a row. They're at home. Carolina's injured. I just like, the second. No, I guess they're slight underdogs. Carolina lost 3 in a row too. It's kind of not that that's predicted or anything, but it's interesting.
Gibson's going to be up there. I think he's going to be a top 2 owned for me. So I'm not really concerned about goalie chalk tonight, even though people are on the plate goalies against Carolina. So.
Yeah, I think Gibson will probably be like 30% owned though. What do you think? 20, 25, 30?
Mrazek is literally 25, 30? Yeah. 25. 25 is pretty fair. Mrazek is literally favored, though, for much cheaper. That's a good point, right? I mean, 7K?
It's probably the smarter play for sure. But
yeah. Koivu won't play tonight, just in at 335. Okay, let me find that. Let's see. Oh, was that Michael Russo tweet? Assuming Minnesota Wild captain Mikko Koivu is out tonight, this will be his first missed game. Okay, that doesn't help. So I guess they're assuming that Koivu's going to be out.
I would assume he's out, right? If you don't finish the last game. What was it? What was his injury?
He got the leg sweep from Mark Giordano. So Giordano's hearing from the old league office today.
Right. Oh, that doesn't look too bad. You think? That's like maybe a 1 or 2 gamer.
Yeah, he's gonna get suspended, I think.
Yeah.
That game had a lot of stuff like that at the end of the game. Dumba got jumped after a big hit on Backlund. So.
Yeah. I would guess he sits. That's just my take without any information. I just seem like knee injuries are probably going to play it a little bit safe over Sarri, especially if he left the game. But
especially, their captain, and it's the next night too. It's not like he had a day in between to get treatment.
Yeah.
So
how old is he now? He must be getting up there.
He's got to be 34, 35 maybe?
35. Good 35, God.
Yeah. He's been there forever. Did everyone enjoy playing Garrett Sparks last night? I was certainly not alone. Yeah, how'd you do last night, Nolan?
I did terribly actually, because I ended up wanting to fade the Matthews line a lot, which I thought was pretty good, and it turned out to be wise because he was like 30% owned. But I switched out, like I had some Philly one, and I switched that out at the last minute, and then I was so high on Vegas one, and for some reason I don't know how, but I just ended up not getting as much of them as I would have liked. So yeah, not as good as it should have been.
Yeah. Trying to look to see if there's anything interesting at the top of the standings last night. I was doing some rewind stuff earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, I was close in the $8 for a little while there. I had a couple lineups that were contending.
Oh, that's
it
awesome.
It was profitable. It was a profitable night for the first time in what seemed like forever. So
Yeah,
yeah.
It's been a weird season. I haven't had a great year this year, honestly. But
I had a really good start to the season, and then I had the just cooler cold streak.
I noticed I was like doing some testosterone. Heath, that guy's good, eh?
Real good.
Yeah.
Good. And it's not like
lineup. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not like testosterone's doing crazy stuff either.
He's just like finds ways to get interesting lineups in with really smart combinations. I think like last night he combined in the $12 single entry, which is like my favorite tournament. He combined Crosby Malkin, and then just went one-offs the rest of the way.
That could have been his cash lineup.
Oh yeah, okay.
Could have been.
So Marcia Show, Ovechkin, Toffoli. He went Toffoli Carter, which was obviously insane value.
Yeah,
What's that?
I bet that was his cash lineup.
Yeah, okay.
Because testosterone always double stacks. Always.
Always? In tournaments?
In MME tournaments. So maybe
Okay.
single enter. I mean, that just the cash lineup snuck in there.
Oh, that's interesting. So his main strategy is to just double stack two lines and, like, obviously sometimes mix in defensemen from the same game or the different defensemen, and that's it. That's all he does.
Uncorrelated defensemen. So what I found is
Uncorrelated
not intentionally correlating. So tonight I would expect testosterone to have literally 75% burns.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
At least 75.
Yeah.
Just because there's value all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that. So unless testosterone has a different defenseman, like there's going to be a defenseman that's in 70+% of lineups that testosterone puts in the $8. So
That's interesting.
I mean, the power play one defenseman, even though they're super priced up, they just must grade out as great values for him. So, yeah.
All right. We only got like 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I think there's a big NBA show. Oh, guys, by the way, for the people, 72 of you that are watching right now, you can still get entered into the contest. We're giving away a free NFL subscription to Osmo.com Premium for the rest of the season. The way you get entered into that is you like this video, so like it, comment once we're done, and what should we have in comment today, Nolan?
Highest. No, that's too easy. Top scoring defenseman.
Top scoring defenseman. All right, top scoring defenseman for tonight's slate. So comment that. After you like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You are automatically entered in, and you can get randomly chosen for the Osmo.com Premium NFL membership. It's good through the rest of the season, and it also includes Showdown slates. So if you are a degenerate and you want some Showdown content, Osmo does rankings for Showdown, which is pretty cool, actually. And yeah, we've got projections, ownership projections for not only the main slate, but the early only and the afternoon only, which I don't think a lot of other sites have. So try it out. You get a chance to get some really good value for free. So nothing better than good old free 99. So just comment, like, and you will be entered in, and hopefully you get chosen. Anything else we should close it out with, Nolan?
That's it. We got NBA show coming up. Good luck, everybody. Hopefully we'll have a full slate tomorrow, I guess. So
yeah,
should be good.
Possible show tomorrow. So stay posted on that. See you guys.
Sweet.
Good luck tonight.